Shalom. First, I start off by giving all great honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Rakakdash. Double honor to teachers, elders, and the boss of great millstone, like God's brothers, put out this truth. Faithfully fearlessly feeding the sheep and you brothers and sisters tuning in. Shalom. Today's lesson titled Oath of Allegiance to the Devil Incurs Judgment. Let's take a look at the word incur in the ordinary dictionary, and it means become subject to something unwelcome or unpleasant as a result of one's own behavior or actions. Now, in this lesson, I'm going to show you a short clip that's about 3 minutes long, so bear with me. I don't intend to make this lesson very long, but you have to see this clip in order for you to understand, this lesson and what I'm bringing out. Now, in this clip, you're going to see a police chief talk about the fact that the ICE agents are targeting, black officers, so-called black and Latino officers. Now, they use the word color, which is always a nice word to finesse the people so that they don't bring out the word black, but in reality, we know that Jakes who are in uniform, are incurring judgments, they're being harassed, and right now, you can see what's taking place here in Great Babylon, America, and we've warned the Hebrew Israelites, the so-called blacks and Americans and Latinos, that, this is the time of Jacob's trouble, Jacob is a 12th tribe of Israel, whether you believe it or not, but you're going to understand it as these judgments occur. Now, let's go into the scripture before I bring on this video, and then we'll continue on here. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus 13, verse 4. It reads, If thou be for his profit, he will use thee, but if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. If thou have anything, he will live with thee, yea, he will make thee bear, and will not be sorry for it. Now, when you look at the history of recruitment, they try to create this diversity, bring in the so-called black, the so-called white, the so-called Hispanic, and if you look at the United States military, and also look at law enforcement, whatever level you look at it, from federal to the state, you can see a diverse group of people, including women, but you see a diverse group of people, tribes that are working, for the devil, pretty much, they're working for the so-called white man. So they have all pledged an allegiance, they've pledged an oath, to serving the devil for whatever need, that he desire, if he's going to send you overseas, if he's going to invoke the National Guard to go into a city, when you take a look, at the service members, in the National Guard or the active duty army that are going to do the bidding of this devil, you can see a diverse, population. But we're letting you know, and you're gonna, as we go through this video and you see what is taking place, and we go into the scripture, any allegiance or oath you pledge to this doggone devil makes no difference of the judgment of the Lord Yahweh Shemashah is going to bring on the children of Israel. So take a look at this video.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mark Ruley, Police Chief of the City of Brooklyn Park. Behind me is a bunch of amazing police chiefs that are here in support of a very short but very important message that we want to share with you. What you won't hear from any of us today is rhetoric of abolish ICE or that there shouldn't be immigration enforcement. The truth is, immigration enforcement is necessary for our national security and for local security. But how it's done is extremely important. In fact, we have a long history of working exceptionally well with our federal partners, including ICE agents, and we have seen the best of them perform their job extremely well in the past. With that said, recently, as the last 2 weeks, we, as law enforcement community, have been receiving endless complaints about civil rights violations in our streets from U.S. citizens. What we're hearing is they're being stopped in traffic stops or on the street with no cause and being forced to demand paperwork to determine if they are here legally. As this went on over the past 2 weeks, we started hearing from our police officers the same complaints as they fell victim to this while off duty. Every one of these individuals is a person of color who has had this happen to them. In Brooklyn Park, one particular officer that shared her story with me was stopped as she passed ICE going down the roadway. When they boxed her in, they demanded her paperwork, of which she's a U.S. citizen and clearly would not have any paperwork. When she became concerned about the rhetoric and the way she was being treated, she pulled out her phone. In an attempt to record the incident, the phone was knocked out of her hands, preventing her from recording it. The officer had their guns drawn during this interaction. And after the officer became so concerned, they were forced to identify themselves as a Brooklyn Park police officer in hopes of slowing the incident and de-escalating the incident down. The agents then immediately left after hearing this, making no other comments, no other apologies, just got in their vehicles and left. I wish I could tell you that this was an isolated incident. In fact, many of the chiefs standing behind me have similar incidents with their off-duty officers. This isn't just important because it happened to off-duty police officers, but what it did do is we know that our officers know what the Constitution is, they know what right and wrong is, and they know when people are being targeted, and that's what they were. If it is happening to our officers, it pains me to think of how many of our community members are falling victim to this every day. It has to stop. This behavior erodes the trust that these police chiefs have worked tirelessly for the last 5 years and theoretically the last 60 years to stop this exact behavior from happening. Now, I want to be really clear. I've called lots of other ICE agents and HSI agents and have talked to a lot of individuals about this. This is not widespread. This is a small group of agents within the surge in the metro area that are performing or acting this way. As a matter of fact, as rumors of this had spread, I've received phone calls from ICE agents and HSI agents indicating this is not how they act, this is not what they do. Regardless, we're calling to action that we have more supervision over the surge, that this type of civil rights violations have to stop.
Now, as you saw in that video, okay, he was trying to sugarcoat it. He was trying to make excuse. He was trying to, finesse it, because why? He himself, just from physical appearance right there, he himself is part of the tribe, okay, of Edom, okay, the children of Edom, okay, a so-called white man, okay. And yes, for his benefit, it is great that you have a diverse set of officers, okay. And as he's talked about that they've worked for years, okay. This is the same place, same state where you had the George Floyd incident up there, okay. Where they tried to work on the minds, on gain the trust of people they call a minority, okay. And if he was of a righteous mind, he would have just simply condemned it and not tried to wishy-wash it and try to say, well, there's only a small group of it that are taking advantage or breaking the law or incurring these type of racial tactics, okay, these racism tactics. No. This is coming from your top, okay? You have a sitting racist, wicked-ass president, okay, right now in office. How much more do you need to see? Okay, the scripture goes into that. So we have it right here. This is the book of Proverbs 29:12. It reads, if a ruler hearkens to lies, all his servants are wicked. So if you have a ruling king, okay, that spews out lies and accusations against a certain group of people, mainly the children of Israel, so-called blacks and Americans and Latinos, okay, then what do you think his servants are going to be? This is the reason why he's dispersing these agents all across Great Babylon, America. Okay, so you listen to this man talk, okay, and if you didn't know any better, if you weren't open, okay, or your eyes didn't know, or you didn't have the wisdom to understand how the devil operates, you would just say, oh yeah, okay, that's just some bad guys like that. No, this is the entire Babylonian government. Okay, let's go into Isaiah 13. And verse 13, because we've told you, Jakes, before, when you wear that monkey suit, whether it's a police uniform, an FBI uniform, a CIA uniform, or a military uniform, okay, you are subjecting yourself, okay, to the wrath of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Basically, you have pledged an oath, okay, to serve this doggone devil needs, okay, and his desires. It says, therefore, I will shake the heavens and the earth shall move out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, Yahweh Shemel Shai, and in the day of his fierce anger. And it should be as the chase roe and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people and flee everyone into his own land. So at some point in time, when things get really rough here in Great Babylon, America, you're going to see that get together, like in like, you know, they say this is like a molten pot, okay? People are gonna start, hey, I'm Latinos, okay, and this is gonna be a 2/3, okay, I'm black, okay, I'm white, I'm Asian, I'm Arab. Everybody's gonna start to like mingle with themselves, okay? They're gonna be running, okay? It says it should be as a chase row. When you take a look at that word chase row, okay, this is the AI overview. It means refers to the fearful, scattered flight of a hunted gazelle row, symbolizing panic and desperate flight, primarily from the biblical prophecy in Isaiah 13 and 14, describing Babylon's fall, where people flee to their homes like prey. Okay, so you can see right there what it's talking about is that, as this place crumbles, okay, and the violence, start to pick up, people are going to start to collude with their own tribe, okay, and in particular these Edomites who was the main target of Yahweh Shema Shai. Boy, they really are going to get it, okay. And here's the next sentence. It says, everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. So you jakes that are thinking you're doing your job, you're policing the streets, you're just serving your country. How many times we're going to tell you this is not your place of rest? Okay, you're going to fall by the sword. Let's continue. It says, their children also should be dashed to pieces before their eyes, and their houses should be spoiled, and their wives ravished, meaning your women are going to get raped. That includes your daughters. Okay, so this is what's going to take place, and you can see where it says, okay, the children dash to pieces. The Lord does not have respect of size. He doesn't care if you're a baby or an infant. Okay, a lot of kids are going to die here in Great Babylon, America. So prepare your eyes to see that. Okay, a lot of you women are going to get ravished. Okay, and I just use the word rape. You're going to get rape. Okay, you're going to. All right, and so if you join onto them, the Lord is going to subject your ass to that, Jake. All right, because you've pledged your allegiance to this doggone devil. This judgment is really for this doggone devil. But if you pledge your allegiance to this devil and cling on to him, okay, then guess what? You're going to get part of that. You're going to get part of that judgment that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai has for him. It says, "Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it." There ain't gonna be no more negotiation. Okay, once they attack Iran or whatever it is. Okay, right now the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai is holding back, okay, the modern day Medes, which is Russia, okay, from executing the judgment on Great Babylon, America. But at some point in time, he's going to, when the elect is sealed, he's going to let that judgment proceed forward, okay. And there ain't gonna be no negotiation. There ain't gonna be no, NATO to save America, okay. There ain't gonna be no peace talk, okay. It's just gonna be destruction. It says, their bows also shall dash a young man to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. Again, a lot of children are going to die, okay? Let's go into the book of Ephesians 6 and start verse 10. It reads, "Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of power, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil." Let's take a look at the word wiles. An ordinary dictionary, and it means, okay, devious or cunning stratagems employed in manipulating or persuading someone to do what one wants. And this is the reason why you see in their commercial, they'll show you, Jason standing up there saluting the flag in the uniform, getting a promotion. You might get the Medal of Valor or the Medal of Honor and some other crap like that. And all of this is just to get you, and that's the reason why they've mentally destroyed you to feel like you're nothing. And then if you put that uniform on, suddenly, thank you for your service. People are being nice to you. They might pay lunch for you if you're out there in the uniform. They might hold the doors open for you. And sometimes you feel a little special, And this is the reason why it's very, rewarding in, mentally for some Jakes, to wear a uniform, to be a federal agent or a state agent, okay, or to be, in the military, where you could get that respect, okay. It's not like trying to get into corporate America where automatically they look at you and they dismiss you because you don't fit into their culture. They don't like you to begin with. All right. It says, continuing, it says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So it's a manipulation game. So you can't fall for it, Jake. Okay, there's a reason why you can't pledge your oath and your allegiance to this damn devil. Okay, because at the end of the day, this is simply judgment. Okay, let's take a look at Zechariah 13. And Sarah said, it reads, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, said the Lord Yahweh Shemashai, 2 parts, that's 66%, therein should be cut off and die, but a third should be left therein. So 2 out of every 3 Jake, so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Latino, is going to get put to death here in Great Babylon, America. That's why we call ourselves the hopeful elect, because you want to be part of that 1/3. Okay? 2 out of every 3 Hebrew Israelite is going to get put to death in Great Babylon, America. It's already set. We don't know who is, but it's already been written who is going to get that judgment. And it says, and I will bring the third part with a fire, and will refine them as silver is refined. I will try them as gold is tried, and they shall call on my name, and I will hear them, which is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? Yahweh, he is this. Okay, Yahweh Shai. Okay? The Savior. Okay? The Redeemer. The Messiah. Okay? And we have to go through him in order for him to plead to the Lord. Okay? Yahweh, okay, the Most High, to say, to not destroy us. Okay, it says, I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord, Yahweh Shemashai, is my power. Let's go to 2nd Ezra 15, and start at verse 14, and it reads, woe to the world, and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there should be sedition amongst men, invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the cost of their actions shall stand their power. Meaning what? People are going to be sick of the bullshit that's coming from the ruling power right now of Great Babylon, America. Which means what? They're not going to have any respect for authority. So right now, they're spitting on you. Okay? They don't even like your skin color. Imagine you in a damn monkey suit in the military uniform, okay, or you in some cop uniform out there, okay, and you're wearing the uniform, and there's images of these people in uniform, okay, whether it's committed by you or not, Jake, okay, that is committing what they call atrocities, okay, bringing a police state in, okay. Hey, these crackers, they don't friggin' like to be told what to do, okay. They don't like to be told what to do, and right now they're witnessing that their freedoms is being taken away, and here you are, a nigger or a spick in this doggone monkey suit, all proud, thinking that you have some type of exemption or you're going to be accepted. Nah, you're going to be put to doggone death. In fact, they're going to put your ass to death first. Okay? You can imagine you pulling up in a damn car, a so-called Latino or Native American or so-called black agent and stuff like that. Well, you think them crackers sitting in that car is going to look at you and go, hey, how you doing there, sir? When all hell breaks loose. No, they're going to pull their sword out, they're going to put your ass in the spirit world, and you deserve exactly what you're going to get. Okay? Pledging your damn oath. Okay? And we can go into all kind of graphical ways of how this is going to look. Of course, if I try to put it in video form, guess what? YouTube will take it down because they don't want you to know, okay, what is actually coming. All right? This is Zephaniah 2 and 3. This is what our duty is and what we're supposed to do here. It says, seek ye the Lord Yahweh Shemashai, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment, seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be ye shall be hid in the days of the Lord Yahweh Shemashai. Man, we all wicked as shit. I'm wicked. All the other brothers are all wicked. Hey, we've done all kinds of evil, wicked ass shit. And this is why we pledge to the Lord, we plead to the Lord Yahweh Shemashai, okay, to erase that and give us a clean slate and save us, okay? Save us and our family, okay, who are worthy of being saved, okay? Because we all shit. We all shit. Come on. None of us deserve anything, man, okay? So that's why Yahweh Shai, he's the one that had to be that intercession. He's the one that had to die for everything. So that's the reason why we always glorify his name along with the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, okay? Or the Most High, Yahweh, all right? So we've told you, Jakes, okay? But if you don't hearken, and you're not going to hearken because of this, let's go to Proverbs 29, Proverbs 25 reads, the fear of man bringeth a snare, but whoso putteth his trust in the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, should be safe. We have rules to follow, okay? The prophets were not weak, man. Yahweh Shai was not weak. He was austere, and so are we, okay? But we do have rules, okay? Yahweh Shai say, leave it up to him. He's going to teach Esau a doggone lesson, and that's exactly what's going to happen, okay? But you people, you have a fear these doggone, you have a fear of the so-called white man. You have a fear of any man that holds a badge and have authority. Now, we ain't saying, hey, go cuss with no cops or whatever the case is like that. Okay? But understand the true judgment actually come from the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai. It says, many seek the ruler's favor, which we don't. But every man's judgment coming from the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, including Esau. Okay? Jacob's trouble is also going to be these other tribes' trouble. And they're not conditioned to catching hell the way the so-called black man, Latino man, and Native American man and woman and children are used to. They're not conditioned to it. Okay? And they're going to destroy what little infrastructure there is of Great Babylon America before they even know it, because it's pathetic. Okay? It says, an unjust man is an abomination to the just, and he that is upright in the way is an abomination to the wicked. So we're an abomination. I'm an abomination to these crackers. Because why? I don't agree with two men getting together like a doggone man and a woman does. I don't believe in that freaking doggone transgender fucking bullshit and all that stuff like that and all the other stuff. And Esau, the so-called white man, is just a natural fucking faggot, plain and simple, starting from the fucking top of their government all the way down to the fucking dusty old cracker sitting in the damn rocking chair. Okay? So you're right. We're going to be an abomination. And we're right. We do preach about the destruction of Great Babylon America, and you will see, okay, the future of the so-called white man in my next video. Stay tuned for that lesson that's coming up. Lord willing, the lack was edified. I close up by giving all glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushua Ba'Shem, Rakakadash, Shalom.